In this video, we will take a look at how we can quickly adjust the model we did and modify it based on this reference image. And this pretty much simulates the situation when you meet with a client, you show them the work, and then the client provides suggestions, and we now have to implement the suggestions. That is also why I'm stressing so much when you work in a CAD application or even via sketching. Work smart, not hard. Try to do what is required right now, because things likely will change anyway. And that is essentially also how the whole design process works. It is an iterative process, meaning I can't pronounce that word correctly. You know what I mean. Now it's just you make one version, you make another variation, another variation, another variation. Okay, so this image is linked inside the video descriptions. From there you can download it. Let's bring this in first. So we go to add image. We can use background. There it is. So this image we will set to Y0. Then it's actually right here at the bottom. Very good. And then via S, we just scale this one down so that the top looks good, and at the bottom, oh, there we can see at the bottom the sketch is a little bit above. So maybe to there. Okay, now it looks good. S a little bit bigger. Yeah, okay, very nice. Let's change the transparency. 0.1, that's pretty good. Okay, this is set to front and back. Yeah, that is fine, but only orthographic, so we don't see this in 3D view. Okay, so here I have a folder called First Revision, and you see I put in the three main objects, the base, the top, and the internal light. And then I have one folder called Feet that has all the 3 feet in it. By the way, you can also drag the order of these collections. And then here we have a second revision. Maybe into second revision I put this empty in, make a new empty, and I call reference image and drag this one to there. Turn this off so I can't select it. Okay, so with this done, now maybe how can we very easily recreate this? Now we want to do this fast, be productive, not necessarily waste a lot of time. We have in our draft actually here this rectangle. We created first, Shift D and Escape, and then press M, and we say move this one into the second revision. There, it got moved into this collection. Then draft we can turn off, and let's go into edit mode. And I know this point has to be a little bit there. I can see this has to go a little bit to there. This is actually fine. Okay, so now how do we do all the edge roundings, etc.? So we can add a bevel modifier, and I will work actually with this point here first. Give this a 1. This might be around 60 something, should be for the vertex only and only round the weight. So it's a little bit difficult to see where this is. So when I lower this there, we can see, yeah, there it is roughly, and I think it's plus minus there, 70. Yeah, maybe 15. Yeah, that looks actually pretty good. And then we can go to here, and now there we just have to be careful that we don't make we can't go 100% because then we start cutting into the previous fillet, maybe a little bit smaller. So we work just with the percentage. And that's actually as you see so far, it's actually quite easy to do. Maybe we can go to profile point 55, make this a little bit softer. Then we can change this a little bit, increase this a little bit. Okay, and I'm switching this back to 1, because what I would like to see is where are actually the start points of these fillets. And there, notice now, this is getting very close. You see how when I'm increasing the bevel weight for this midpoint, how the other fillet is being pushed up or down, because the fillets start to intersect with each other. This is not really that much of a problem. We simply have to adjust the position and the weight of these points so that everything will work good. So just take a look at what I'm doing next. Don't actually do this. So here, these points I move down a little bit. Okay, so how much weight do we have there? 0.1, set this to 1. Okay, very good. So there I can see one bevel, second bevel. Yeah, and this one should be 0. This one I set to 0 too. Okay, you see how this is uneven. So maybe to there. I'm trying to make this and this line easier. Not easier, the same. So when I then create the weight, sorry, when I add more segments, this starts to look better. But the moment I will add something here, yeah, everything gets a little bit more tricky. Now I would have to select this and make this fillet smaller, which is good. Then I can bring this over. Now I can select this and make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, okay. It kind of works, but it is not really ideal. Plus, here I have a very flat element. There you can see. So this actually has to go over. Try to make this and this more the same. Okay, because then if I had more, but I still end up with something there being rather flat. So this idea of doing it this way was okay, and doesn't really work out that good. So what other options do we actually have? So in this case, now I will introduce you to the curve tool. Before we go to the curve tools, let's go to edit preferences. Then we go add-ons, type in curve, and we want to turn on curve tools. Very good. Now Shift S, cursor to world origin, Shift A, add a Bezier. Then we go to the top view, select the Bezier. I can't select it because, oh, it got put into the revision reference collection here, second revision. There you should be. Go to edit mode, via tab, V and vector, and then S, and we scale this down. Go to this view. Very good. Now, when we select this point, where is this point? 64 along X, Z and all the stuff is 0. So let's set this to 5 millimeters, and this, whoops, this we set to 0. So you see along the X it's 0, and along Z it's 0.5. Let's make this one not 0.5, 5, and then bring this over to here. Okay, then E, we bring this one up, maybe to here, 200. This is too much. Let's see how much would be this. 195, okay. Then E and click this to here. So X should be 0, Y should be 0, this should be the same like this, so 195. Okay. Little bit of cleanup. Okay, very nice. So there we have this very basic element sketched back. Now actually we will do the interesting stuff. Right click subdivide. So you see it's exactly like with mesh modeling. It will react the same way in terms of adding or extruding elements. That's a nice part about Blender. So press V and then we say this to be automatic. Then you see this is already nicely curved. Cool, no? Yeah. This here I would like to fillet. So we go now to edit. There's our curve edit fillet. And oh yeah, the radius is really big. So zip. Make this smaller. 2.25. Let's see. 22. Yeah, 22 maybe looks good. Okay. So before we do this, undo, 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 till we're back to this stage. Let's make a copy. Shift D and escape in object mode, and we call this one profile backup, and then this we call profile. Cool. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is I will bring this actually over a tick, and then we will chamfer this. Yeah, so this got a tick closer. Good. Let's do this actually for both. Very good. So the bottom is fine, and at the top is fine. Let's take a look at the bottom. Yeah, here actually we could go over a little bit to there. Okay, so you see how I simply adjusted them. So this is now really our backup. Okay, good. So let's go ahead into edit mode and 25. Very good. And then here, fillet chamfer 22. Yeah, this looks actually good. When we go and turn normal on, I want to show you something. Now we have the ability to play with these curves a little bit more. And this is actually why working with curves in Blender is actually for making profiles really nice because of how the sketching tools are set up. So right now this is pretty much more typical tangent curve, but I want to adjust the flow a little bit more. So I'm extending these handles, and then I have to push the whole curve backwards a little bit, but ideally, like in this case, not straight up, along actually its line. Cool. Okay, very nice. So this is the initial sketch here we made. So let's retire this one. We will take a look at this top body and then turn this off, this off. Very good. Okay, let's go to our curve object, and I can use this as a reference. So you here go down and then V and be automatic. Go up and down, hold control. Wait, what? GZZ. Hold control. Okay, that was it. So GZZ. And then hold control, we snap to it. You notice how this actually rotated a little bit. So it's all good for the moment. Let me bring this in a little bit there. Good. So this point was actually set to automatic. Let me show you something. We go to global, SZ and 0. And then this we can push in a little bit if we want to. Yeah. Or we keep this a little bit more there. So this is a nice flow, and then slowly it bends over. Here, this one we can rather push in. Yeah. Okay. And then here, this. I try to keep these two at a similar edge, length. So otherwise it will, as you can see, look very pinched or overinflated. Very good. So this one is ready. Then let's take a look at the base also here, because this is all modifier stuff. We can very easily do stuff like this. Okay. Yeah, how do we do this one? I select these 2 points, right click, subdivide, bring this one up. Now here, there again, as Z and 0 with global turned on, I want this to be more the same. I can use my initial sketch here to help a little bit. Bring this over a little bit. There. There again, I try to make sure that they're a little bit more the same. Then this one I bring over to here, V, and say vector. Yeah, but this vector doesn't look very good, so I push this one out a little bit. Can bring this one up a little bit. Okay. This whole thing has to go down a little bit. Here, Z as in 0, because this is a slight arc. And before actually this was a vector, when I press an SZ and enter 0, it makes it horizontal. Automatically turns the curve into an automatic or aligned. Cool. And then this way I can actually arc this. So you see, based on where this point goes to, this is a nice arc. Here now I have this. How do we model this? Actually super easy. So select these 2 points, subdivide, then we select this point here. So you actually have to go further down, and then this one goes to there. Can select this point, move this up a little bit. Yeah, here and here, and then move this one down. Move this one down, and then I just have to move these handles so that it starts to form more the shape I'm shooting for. Yeah, okay, cool. There you see, it's actually not that complicated. I would like to bring this one up a little bit, and then this, wait, here, go normal, slide this one up, and then go down a little bit more. Very good. Side this. How does this look? There we can clearly see this is nice and round, and then this is not really a circle anymore. Maybe this has actually, between these 2 points horizontally, this has to be more at the center. Five millimeters, S. Maybe scale this a little bit. Yeah, there. Okay, to help here, what we could do is in object mode, I simply add a circle, 64 vertices, S, scale this one down, RX and 90, bring this over. Okay, so there, plus minus, now I can see where everything should be. And oh, interesting. I'm actually really close. The only thing that's wrong is this one. So global, move this over a little bit. There. G and adjust. The rest is actually pretty good. Can even do the same. Shift D to here and S. Very good. Yep, there. That's something what I mentioned. Your eyes, or that's kind of like a good example of why very often I say your eyes are very prone to be fooled. Don't trust your eyes, trust your measurements. Very good. So this object is actually really nice. We can select this. Also here do a screw modifier, as you can see. No? So 64, 64. The surface is actually pretty good. We actually have quite good transitions. Also from here, how this arc then flows into this part. I will show you here. Let's see what happens. Can we show? Oh yeah, there you can see this. So when we make this kind of short, it is, and there is a transition from this arc then to this arc, and you can really see how the zebra, where this point kind of is, starts to change its direction kind of more abruptly. And when we push this one out, this is a nice flow. So this is kind of like what they talk about surface curvature. How smooth are transitions. It's less about being a straight circle or something, but more later when we would touch this, how would this feel and look? Okay, this looks actually really nice. Yeah, so never forget to save. So we have now the main profile. We also have our backup. And how do we very quickly now come and how can we build these internal pieces too? And you see here, all this is also sliced up into the top and the bottom. It's actually not complicated. So this one here, I will. What do we do with this one? Zack, we do it here. Very good. So that is such a simple object, Shift D and escape, and I will drag this one into the second revision. Turn this one back on. Now here, this profile, I turn this one off. There's my second revision. Edit mode, select the 2 points, move this to the left. Very good. And then this point, GG, I slide down till it's kind of there. Okay, look at that. That actually is pretty good. And for the bevel, 0.55. Yeah. Because it's such a simple object, we don't really have to do anything there. In that case, it is kind of fine. Here, my eyes actually went back to this. This all looks a little bit chunky, but when we go to the curve data, and then go to here and type in 64, you see then things can look much nicer. This is still not really a good looking circle, but it's kind of fine for what we have to do right now. So this profile, Shift D and escape, and I will call this one refined backup, because this one here now I want to slice. So yeah, I will move this one a little bit up to there. Very good. Keep it there and then select all this, and then I press P to separate. And not very good. Because we can see how this line actually got changed. There's our profile backup. There we can see there is a slight difference. So this one goes, and where's this other tiny fragment there? Good. So this one here one more time. Shift D and escape. Shift D. Did I just make a copy of this point? Yeah, I did. I meant like in edit mode, I would like to make. Yeah, in object mode, I would like to make a copy. Good, actually, I didn't do this because right now, seeing it from the side, I noticed there is one possible other problem. You see, this handles actually to the inside. That means the surface is kind of like going concave and then it goes convex. And you can see this here and here. Some of the handles we need to adjust. So this we will select V and say aligned. You see now it's red and aligned. That is good. And then this one here we say aligned to. Why did I do this? This handle has to be on or on the outside. It's a tiny detail, but this is now truly more a convex surface. Before it was convex, then looking concave, being convex, being concave, and now being convex. Sorry for the oversight. I didn't actually see this. Okay, good. So with this, again, Shift D and escape in object mode. Go to edit mode, and then this one we can slide up and then select. Whoa, how big is this one? I must have scaled it by accident. Select all this. Yeah. And now we say P and separate. And there you see that the copy we separated fully follows the original flow. How cool is that, no? Yeah, so here we call in object mode. What is this? This is actually profile bottom. And then this is profile top. Cool. Okay. So the reason why I did this is, well, as you know, I have individual objects now. So I can show the top, I can show the bottom, pretty cool. Here, I want to show this, so I can see where this element kind of is. Selecting this point, so this here, this I can move, but then this happens, so not good. So V, and then say maybe free. Whoop, I can do it to here. Okay, select this point, E, bring this to there. Okay. So you see my goal was not to move this handle at all because the surface needs to flow. But from here I would like this to arc over a little bit. Very nice. So then this we can set V to vector, E and X, bring this over. This point should be X0, Y0, Z, well, let's say Z90. Let me do the same here. Z90 minus 55. This has an arc, and then here select this point and arc. So we can shape this a little bit. I just snapped, dragged to it. Okay, there we are. Cool. So this part, no, actually, we model two as an individual, or not individual, as part of the. Oh, why did you go over to there? You should be X0 there. These 3 points we can keep where they are, so it's part of the sketch, or we separate it. Now we can do this P and separate there, then we have actually this and this all as individual objects. I will undo this simply for rendering purpose. Later, it's just one object to select. The top part will be individual and the speaker will be individual. So I keep those actually as separate objects. Good. So maybe some last checks. 64, 64. Now this is a polygon. 64. This is all good. Let's go to here. Screw modifier. That looks good. Screw modifier. 64. Oh, render 64. And then let's select this. There. Very nice. So what's going on here? Well, we haven't turned, I think, the normal smoothing on. There is actually none for curves. So quick check, edge split there. Okay. Yeah, this looks actually really nice. Now if we compare this to our first design or first model, this actually looks really more refined, less like a cylinder that's tapered with rounded edges. This slightly beveled side really does a nice detail to it. And the top also looks really good, more refined. The spline command is actually really a nice tool to just create this type of a flow, nice and smooth. As you can see, it's a lot easier than the bevel command in this case when we work with a revolve object. Very good. So what else is there left to do? We can see if can we cut actually the groove into this. So we have our first revision object. Let's actually hide this for the moment. There, first revision interface. Where's actually, oh, we put this into the draft component here, this one. Okay, good. So how can we do this cut there? Oh, interesting. This is slightly inside. So we might have to make a new one. Shift D and escape. M, and then we put this into second revision. Can actually turn all this stuff off here. Go to edit mode, A, GZ, move this up. Select these two, move this down. I'm actually paying attention to this line stuff, so it is right above it. Very good. Can we do a boolean command? And whoa, actually here we do not have a boolean command. Yeah, so what do we do? Why don't we have a boolean command? This is a curved surface, and Blender doesn't do the boolean commands with curved surfaces. It does it via how can I say that? It does it only with polygon meshes. But this is not really a big problem because there are two ways to solve this. We could either, here I will hide the screw modifier, and this one here I will hide this too, so I have just a reference. I could go ahead and then select this segment, and we have some intersect. And then there, for example, we have 2D Boolean curves here. So let's see how this works. So I select this point, Shift D, just make a copy. V, make this a vector, E and Z. Select these two, E and X. Oh, interesting. Okay, undo. just the lower point E and X, E and Z, hold control, select these two, G, bring them to there. Oh wow, that was actually very precise. Tuck. And then snap, snap, A. Wait, not A, because I would have selected everything, just these elements here. Yep, this is pretty good. So with this and this, do we have a Boolean split, curve Boolean? Yeah, it doesn't really work that way. Honestly, curve Boolean, do we have to do this outside? I actually have to see. I never really tried this myself, so I select everything, separate it to see with these two together, intersect curves, active curve points 0. Yeah, okay. No idea how this is supposed to work. It's fine. Because what we will do is this mesh, we will, this spline we will turn into a mesh anyway. So currently this is just our spline-driven surface. So what we will do now is Shift D and escape. And then we can go to, and we can actually apply the screw here. Apply, and then it says transform curve to mesh in order to apply. What is going on? So now this is still a curve object. We would like to convert it. So convert it to mesh. And there we are. Convert to mesh. Then we're going to edit mode, and there's our mesh object. Okay. So now there you see we have now the original curve object, and we have our raw file. And then here, let's make a new collection. And this is our render mesh. This one we put into there and call this render mesh. Okay. And then here, when we add a Boolean element, and where's actually, here's the piece, there, move this up, groove, okay. I put this object, I put now into render mesh, there. Okay, so difference, this one, this actually needs to have this obviously turned on. It doesn't work. It's inverted. So edit mode, select everything, mesh normals, recalculate outside. Okay, there's still something not working. Maybe we go with the fast. And then we have this interesting problem. Go up or down. Okay. Oh.